Have you ever felt alone amidst the chaos? Imagine if your every step was guided by an invisible force, taking care of every detail. Today, we will explore how trust can transform your perspectives. Reflect on Titus's message, next, to discover how you are never truly alone.
Undertake and trust, for you are always supported by the one who has never abandoned you. Take the steps, for you are cared for in the smallest details of your life. If he feeds the birds and clothes the flowers, imagine the care he has for you. Trust the process, because nothing is by chance. The Lord never abandons you. Remember, none of your steps are without purpose. Now, listen to Apollos as he tells us a story that illustrates this message of trust and purpose.
On the city's outskirts, where dreams often get lost between concrete and asphalt, lived Martha and Gabriel, two young people whose lives, though they seemed destined for different paths, became intertwined by an unexpected love and an unwavering faith. Martha, the daughter of a seamstress who spent her days working hard to support her family, dreamed of a better future. Martha split her time between her mother's fabric scraps, night school, and the difficulties of a daily life marked by a lack of resources. Gabriel, the son of a mechanic who, despite his daily efforts at the workshop, could barely meet his family's needs, divided his time between work and studies, always feeling challenged by social expectations that limited his horizons. The neighborhood where they lived, known as Esperanca, Hope, was a microcosm of contrasts. On one side, the social fragility and violence that permeated the streets; on the other, the unity and resilience of the residents who, despite everything, still believed it was possible to change their realities. Martha and Gabriel were not immune to these challenges. They often faced prejudice from other residents who, seeing them so young and with few resources, didn't believe in their potential. But in the midst of it all, there was something that kept them firm, the faith that there was something greater guiding their steps, an invisible but present force that wouldn't let them give up. With every difficulty, there was a new opportunity to trust more deeply in the one who sustained them. The moment that would change their lives came when, on a casual walk through the neighborhood streets, Martha and Gabriel came across an old book abandoned in a donation box. It was a Bible with yellowed pages full of personal notes, as if it had been read and reread countless times by someone seeking solace in the sacred words. Curious, they began to flip through the pages and soon came across a passage from Matthew chapter 6, verses 28 and 29, which said, "And why are you anxious about clothing? Consider the lilies of the field, how they grow, they neither toil nor spin, yet I tell you, even Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these." That message was like a balm for their troubled hearts, reminding them that despite the adversities, there was a greater force taking care of everything, even the simplest and most beautiful things in life. From that moment on, faith and trust in God became the foundation for their lives. Inspired by that verse, Martha and Gabriel made a bold decision to start their own businesses. Martha, with her ability to transform fabric scraps into creative and unique clothes, began to create pieces that quickly caught the attention of neighbors and friends. Gabriel, with his mechanical skills inherited from his father, started to repair and resell bicycles, a product in high demand in the community. With every step they took, they felt they were being guided by a higher power that was behind every opportunity and every victory, no matter how small. The community played an essential role in the growth of their businesses. The people in the neighborhood, seeing Martha and Gabriel's dedication, began to support their initiatives. Neighbor by neighbor, orders started to pour in. People who had not believed in their potential before now saw them as examples of overcoming challenges and faith. They were changing the course of their own lives and at the same time, inspiring everyone around them to believe that they could also transform their realities. The residents of Esperanca began to see in Martha and Gabriel not just two young entrepreneurs, but two symbols of how faith, when combined with effort and perseverance, can open doors even in the most challenging circumstances. Their story took a decisive turn when an unexpected proposal arose to open a store in the city center. It was an exceptional opportunity, but also a scary one. The fear of failure and insecurity weighed on their hearts, and doubt plagued them, but upon remembering the words of Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5 and 6, which say, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make straight your paths," Martha and Gabriel decided they would not face this journey alone. They chose to trust, once again, that the Lord would be at the forefront of every challenge. The store's opening was a milestone in both their lives. Success didn't come instantly, but over time, the store became a point of reference in the city center, attracting customers not only for the quality of the clothes and bicycles, but also for the example of perseverance and faith they exuded. They were creating something bigger than a simple business. They were building a bridge between a dream and reality, not just for themselves, but for the entire Esperanca community. By managing to open the store and hire neighborhood residents, Martha and Gabriel began to offer more than just jobs. They offered the renewed hope that anyone, regardless of their background or resources, could achieve their dreams. Divine help was present at every stage, but it was also reflected in the mutual trust and interpersonal preparation they had both cultivated throughout their journeys. Their interpersonal skills, understanding their own talents and limitations, and a willingness to learn and teach were crucial for the business to prosper and become a source of transformation for everyone around them. In the years that followed, the Esperanca neighborhood was no longer the same. Martha and Gabriel's faith spread and inspired others to follow their own paths of transformation. With every new project, every new initiative, they always remembered that success came not only from hard work but also from faith in God, who always showed them the way, even in the moments of greatest insecurity. They were finally living a dream that had seemed impossible, but that had come true through the power of faith, action, and divine help. Martha and Gabriel thus became not only examples of successful entrepreneurs but also living symbols that, with faith, courage, and preparation, it is possible to overcome any barrier and transform the life of an entire community. The Esperanca neighborhood was transformed from a place of challenges and limitations into a place of hope, where people began to believe that their own dreams were also possible to achieve. And all of this was possible because Martha and Gabriel not only trusted in their own strength, but also believed in the divine power to transform lives. Follow along with the passages that Titus found. They reinforce Martha and Gabriel's efforts and endeavors, who, supported by faith, persevered in their changes.
In the midst of life's challenges and pressures, have absolute certainty of God's constant support. He is with us, offering the light for every step, in every direction, and at every moment. He is offering us the guidance to develop ourselves. Today, I want to share with you 3 passages from the Bible that remind us of these powerful truths. Passage 1. Matthew chapter 6, verses 28 and 29. And why do you worry about clothes? Consider the lilies of the field, how they grow, they do not labor or spin. Yet I tell you that not even Solomon in all his glory was dressed like one of these. In this passage, Jesus reminds us of God's divine care for creation. Just as the lilies of the field are clothed in splendor without any effort of their own, we are called to trust that God cares for us in every detail. Martha and Gabriel, on their journey, found in this passage the certainty that they were not alone. Even amidst adversity, they believed they were being cared for and guided. Passage 2. Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5 and 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will make straight your paths. This passage is an invitation to unconditional trust in God. Martha and Gabriel faced many challenges, but they always trusted they were being guided. They did not rely solely on their own understanding but sought divine guidance with every step. This trust led them to make decisions that transformed their lives and the life of their community. Passage 3. Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. This passage is a promise of hope and purpose. God has plans for each of us, plans to give us a future and a hope. Martha and Gabriel believed in this promise and, even amid difficulties, trusted they were being guided toward a better future. This faith motivated them to start their businesses and transform their community. Now, listen to Apollos as he brings us a reflection on these passages and the story we just heard.
The story of Martha and Gabriel teaches us that trust in God and faith in His plans can transform lives. They faced challenges that seemed insurmountable but never lost hope. They believed they were being cared for in every detail and that every step had a purpose. Trust is not the absence of fear but the certainty that, even in the midst of adversity, we are being guided. Martha and Gabriel did not know exactly how their lives would unfold, but they trusted they were being led by a greater force. This trust led them to undertake their ventures and transform not only their own lives but also the life of their community. The biblical passages we explored today remind us of God's divine care and the promise of a future full of hope. Just as the lilies of the field are clothed in splendor, we are called to trust that God cares for us in every detail. Like Martha and Gabriel, we are invited to acknowledge God in all our ways and to trust that He will make our path straight. Faith is not an escape from reality, but an anchor that keeps us firm in the midst of storms. Martha and Gabriel did not ignore their challenges, but faced them with the certainty that they were not alone. They proved that, with faith and trust, it is possible to transform adversities into opportunities and dreams into reality. May the story of Martha and Gabriel inspire us to trust in God and believe in His plans for our lives. May we, like them, embark on our ventures with faith and transform our communities with hope. Remember, none of your steps are without purpose. Trust the process and believe that you are being cared for in every detail. We would greatly appreciate it if you could take a moment to like this video. It may seem like a small action, but it helps us continue to offer good messages and thoughts. Subscribe to the channel and activate the bell to not miss our future reflections. Your comments also mean a lot to us. If you find what we share useful, leave us your comments and interests so we can serve you in future videos. Here, we will continue talking and improving our meetings. In the description, you can find a sociological focus on what was presented in this video. If this video inspired you, there's another video on the screen now that will improve your introspection on the topic. Again, thank you for being here and for being part of strong thinking. These paths will continue toward the development and growth of our consciences. Stay attentive and dedicated, and we will see each other again soon.